guys, welcome back to the next D&D session. So, the party decides on whether or not to attempt the brilliant assassination plan or not. I think we came down to a vote, and it was a draw. And
I
then,
believe so.
but okay, and we're resolving this through one-on-one combat with the governor, and the winner decides.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Oh, yes.
perfect.
No, if it's a draw, I'll go with a double cross plan.
Okay.
Just a tie break.
All right,
Unless anybody wants to break a tie with going for the governor assassination.
we can flip for it. Like just roll a D, like a D2, and no, okay. Then, sure. I like in character. Then, of course, Yugen would be very much for the betray the elves plan.
Absolutely.
It is the much less compelling plan, but the much smarter plan.
I think we have to do some assassination or something. We will have to make this up to Grilled by finding something once we're over the border to mess up
Okay.
government related. I think that's
That's a good strategy.
yeah.
That works as well for Fabregas as it does for 4-year-olds. Like, that's pretty powerful.
You guys don't even need to be prompted. You can just walk into a city and be like, how do we assassinate the leader here?
Yeah, and then we could find just random elves in the location and see if they'll reward us for it.
So what exactly will you guys be doing in that case? Having decided now, I believe your course of action at this inn.
Yep.
It's still, it's probably 7 p.m. at this point.
Yeah, but during this whole conversation, we definitely had like full blackout curtains on the room, so no light could escape or enter. So it was dark, dingy, and we were making this plan. And now, like, kind of like bright light of like the late afternoon, I guess, early evening, 7 p.m. What time does the sun set?
Beautiful
around here?
sunset.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of feels that way. Like the resolution of party conflict is defined by the beautiful sunset.
And Grilt pouting. And Arv, like, just swinging his battle axe in the room, just dangerously close to us.
Yeah.
As he gets slowly more and more upset at not killing anything.
Yes.
Perfect. All right. I think I would suggest that we approach. We have. I've forgotten now. I think we do though. We have like writs of some sort for or no? Do we have any identification?
You have a token
Yeah. But is
each
this
of you-
token something that is only gonna be?
that his spies would know and about no one else. Other than that, he didn't want to give you any sort of link to him. That kind of defeats the purpose of
Yeah.
you being there and not his own men.
Yeah.
So you have no forms of identification that you were sent by Angus.
Is there any way would we as in character know any way to perhaps contact the secret police or report somebody, or like what type of empire is this? I mean, if it's a really good like dictatorship empire, there's probably secret police everywhere, and we know just who to inform on and how to inform. Like if we wanted to do that route, who would we approach?
You could potentially go to essentially the guardhouse, if you wish, and inform them there. You could attempt to get an audience with the governor.
I would go to a
although
guardhouse.
On this short notice would probably be difficult.
All right, I would. Okay, so that's what I'd suggest. Let's head to the police station then, if we can, or
Absolutely.
guardhouse or whatever the hell the equivalent would be.
Yeah. So you guys, you make your way through the city. It is nighttime. You can see some people out and about as you make your way to this guardhouse. Kind of coming in the door, you can see a lot of very heavily armored, or armed, not armored, guards, although some of them are in armor. A few sitting at desks. There's some paperwork. And one will say, what can we help you with?
I need to speak to your superior.
On what matters?
It's above your pay grade. I kind of like mentally like do that. Below, above. Please don't take this personally, but I need to speak to your superior immediately.
You can roll me a persuasion.
Great.
Absolutely. come right with me. If you don't mind, though, any of you that are coming, you'll have to leave your weapons here at the door.
That's fine.
So with that, you all disarm yourselves, and he will take you a small flight of stairs to what is essentially an extra office. He knocks on the door and immediately opens it. Before you see a somewhat aged man sitting at the desk. He does have the same colors on as the other guards, although slightly better dressed. The guard you spoke to hurries you inside before closing the door after him.
Do I know his rank? The rank of the man sitting?
The rank of the man sitting? He would be a corporal.
Corporal. Okay.
I think. I don't know the ranks. I'm going to be honest.
Everything all right, Jorbs?
So, is that like really high?
Sorry,
don't worry.
Dolphin. Sorry, Dolphin gets it. No, don't worry about it. Sorry, I was making faces.
No, it's just... I thought maybe you had something to add. Okay. No. Okay.
Sitting guard or sitting man's rank?
Sitting man's rank will be corporal. Yes.
Corporal.
Perfect.
You're unsure where that falls in this hierarchy, but it's higher than a normal guard.
Sure. I'll say, Corporal, we have some important information that needs your immediate attention.
What might that be? He says while continuing to look down at his papers.
Today we were approached by a group of elves attempting to assassinate the governor on tomorrow's parade. His personal guard needs to be informed immediately.
With this, he will look up from his papers at you. You all looking quite odd. Said you were approached by some elves.
Elves. I kind of spit the word.
He'll nod. I'll make sure his personal guard is informed. Is there any other information you can give us? Did you get any of their names?
Corporal,
Defining characteristics?
I think it may be best if I spoke directly to his guard. And is he a I don't know where this would fit like structure wise. Like,
Yeah, all good.
is he a pretty decent ranking officer, Corporal, or no? It seems
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
not
he-
so decent ranking officer normally, right?
He is decently ranking in the city. There's probably in this city 4 of his rank.
Okay. Oh, okay. So it's pretty. Okay, it's a pretty big deal then. All right. So then I will
Yeah,
actually, I'll actually pull the coin out temporarily, and I'll kind of show him this, and be like, this might be best if we handle this personally with the guard. And I assume that he might know just enough to know that this is something that's Cloak and Dagger's kind of different department than his.
Okay, so you pull out the coin with the insignia of the bull.
Mm-hmm.
Fabregas sort of nods, like, happily and is like, yeah, we're working for Angus. Covertly.
Yeah.
You can trust us. We have a lot of authority here.
He will.
I have some papers that I'm also kind of looking at, kind of mimicking the self-important behavior of the guard. That's something I haven't figured out for every social situation. So usually I'll just mirror whoever is doing what. So I'll also at times kind of lift up the bottom of my shirt and look at it and play with it, kind of like a child does, because I don't understand how that's different than looking at a stack of useless papers.
Absolutely. So this corporal will see your coin, and you see him kind of nod slightly. He rummages around slightly in his pants before pulling out a matching coin,
Okay.
and he'll kind of lean forward on his desk and say, "So what is it exactly you've been sent here for?"
I'll say, of course, you understand that I can't discuss that. This was a kind of this caught us a little bit by surprise, but this seemed relevant enough to bring to your attention the plot on the governor, and it seems I found the right man to talk to about this. I of course can't discuss our primary mission, and we won't be here long, but we may be able to spend the small amount of time assisting with this. If they believe that we have succeeded in their task, our contact will introduce us or to others in his organization, and we may be able to round up a bunch of dirty elves all at once.
The
Would be a
easiest
great
way
thing.
for it to look like we succeeded at our task would be if we just offed the fellow, wouldn't it? I don't know if you like him much. Maybe you're thinking about run for governor.
An interesting proposition. But this man will say, leadership isn't exactly for me. Not of this high status. That being said, perhaps infiltrating them, that would be great. We could stage the death of the governor, gain you their trust, and once you have it, reveal that he was not dead in the first place.
Exactly my thoughts.
And you guys, being covert operatives with such an insignia, I'm trusting that you're capable.
Yeah, and just at that moment, like through an open window, a breeze kind of goes through and puffs my branded cape up and then down again.
Alright, so he just sees the big old not a spy
Yep.
cape that you have on your back.
Yep.
He'll
Very capable.
sigh.
Seems to be all your NPCs are sighing with it. There's jealousy of the cape. It's fine. I assume it's jealousy of the cape. I kind of nudge Fabregas, waiting for the sales pitch. Look.
I have it written on cards now, and I'm just going to hand it to him covertly as we step out of the room. In fact, the way that it is covert is going to make him more impressed. Fabregas hasn't worked out how we're going to get paid at this point, because now we're not only not sending the capes, but we're also not tricking them into paying us before we send them the capes. So it's sort of a...
Yeah, it's just a cape delivery service that we're now funding out of our own pockets.
yeah.
Yeah.
Apropos of nothing, Grilt's just gonna say, and if you don't like him, you can send him back.
As you just kind of toss the card, it lands on his paper, but you toss it behind your back in a way that is... here, you can roll me stealth for how covert it is.
Yeah.
I'm in heavy plate, so this is a
Disadvantage.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's not the least covert thing. I mean, you kind of stretch and you put your hand on the table, slide it out, and when your hand's gone, the card's still there.
Yeah. Can you also roll perception for the covert officer, see if he notices the card? Because I'd love to.
Yeah, sure.
My dream is it's so covert he never sees it.
He does.
Damn.
He does see the card.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
But so yeah. I'll inform his guard. Would you guys be willing to infiltrate the elves? If you
Absolutely.
had gained their trust, you could come back to us and inform them of their highest names. We could cut them down, finally end this pesky insurrection.
I think we can cut the middleman out right entirely. Perhaps we can help cut some of them down as well. I noticed the nod to Arvius over there, who I assume has his axe. Oh, he doesn't have his axe with him.
Nah, he doesn't have his axe.
Oh,
He's
no.
He feels naked.
But he's still, I picture him, I'm not saying this is canon, but I like to picture him still mostly naked, just with pretending to have an axe in his hand, so he's just kind of like doing
Yeah,
like
just practicing his swings.
Yeah.
He'll be licking his hands and looking around hungrily as well. The usual.
I also imagine him maybe licking his ghost axe just a little bit, just kind of like he was doing with before.
He'll look around and be confused when it's not there. It's like a phantom limb.
Sure.
He'll say, I know this isn't of your primary mission, but I'm sure that we'll be able to find a way to make it up to you guys for your lost time.
Do you happen to know any crews who sail out of the port near here, looking for a reliable boat, traveling south?
A boat from Stormside. I'll see what I can do.
Perfect.
In the meantime, how exactly should we stage this faked death with the governor?
Easiest
You
thing
said
would be to actually kill him. I am a
I know.
cleric and can revive him after his death. It will
so
just look more authentic that way.
I should inform you of some things having to do with reviving in this world.
Sure.
Whenever a person is revived, that person ages 1d10 years, and the person that revived him also ages 1d10 years. And these cannot be undone, and those just essentially shorten your lifespan.
My character is 14 right now. I just decided.
Yeah. But the DM, you know what the DM's response to that is, though, Jorbs? Your character's lifespan is 15 years. I just
Yeah.
decided.
It's shortened appropriately. But that is just a thing to be aware of. So you can't just go revive every peasant that you see, but reviving isn't,
We could.
the
I see.
hardest thing.
Okay.
Okay, that's not a great idea then.
You are a dwarf, which they do live.
I'm not
for-
even a dwarf. I'm just a very short human.
Oh wait, yeah, you are. Yeah, and how old are you? Oh, you don't have it in there.
I'm like
34.
34. Or something.
34. Okay, so that'd be a chunk possibly. He says, I'm sure he'd rather not have to go through that ordeal. Perhaps you guys could pretend to kill him, simply leave his body there.
Perhaps.
An excellent idea. We might get carried away though. You're gonna tell him to be careful, I hope.
Perhaps he could just not lead the parade tomorrow. The parade could happen. We could put a double in his place, maybe in his armor or something similar, and then the double could take a fall or a death from one of our actions, and it would seem as though the governor had been slain. I'm not sure if that would cause too much chaos in the city, or if that is acceptable for the cost to pay to root out these traitors.
These traitors pose a large threat, but so does the elf population of the city. I'm sure if the governor died, they might try something. But if we're prepared, which I'm sure we could be, we should be able to stamp them out. It'd give us a good chance to see where the people's loyalties lie. And finally get behind bars those whose loyalties do not lie with us.
Beautiful. So would something like I'm suggesting work then?
Yes, we'll work it out. In the meantime, the details you'll need to know. He kind of pulls out a map of the city, and marks it. It's already marked the route that the parade will go. He says, "Here, I'll make sure that his personal guard are informed that right here they'll leave a breach. One of you can rush in, rush to the governor, who will be replaced with a double by that point, and kill them. From there, make your escape. We will pretend to pursue, lose us in these alleyways," he marks on the map. From there, you should be able to meet back with your informant, who will believe you are successful.
Seems good. I was thinking we'd use an arrow or a crossbow from a distance, but this will be much more of a show.
It will get your face out there. Whoever it is, you will be seen as the man who executed this governor. The elves will trust you.
Girl?
That's what we're looking for as covert operatives of Angus Longhorn.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Sure want everybody to know all about our faces and what we're doing, since we're covert operatives.
Yeah.
Fabregas looks around like it's just insane. Nobody gets it. We're covert operatives, and we shouldn't be telling people that, you know?
Yeah.
Incredibly covert, he says, just looking at your cape. He gestures openly to it.
And no, I would shake my head. I wouldn't want to be the government weasel here.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, no.
We could disguise whoever you are. give you some fake characteristics that you could have flunked to the elves.
I would vote Yugen.
It's fine. I don't know. I feel like as a team, when it came to rushing in and killing someone, it would be Arvius' job.
I agree that it would be Arv.
Yeah, I could vote for Arv.
It was always Arv.
Yeah. So I guess
Kill the governor. Yes, yes, yes.
yes.
Eat the guards. Yes, yes, yes.
And as he's saying that, I've kind of talked to the corporal for a second. I'm like, just make sure that the actual governor's not there. When Arvius goes battle mad, he sometimes kills everything. So just a little distance between the double and anyone you care about.
We'll make sure.
Perfect. All right. So do we have anything? Does this guard have anything to say to us? Or excuse me, does guardsman have anything to say to us on the way out?
Try to lie low, a bit better than you have been.
Understood.
A word of advice from one in the business.
And I kind of internally think to myself, he just told us he was a covert spy, and he's thinking that, anyways.
Oh, well, he already flashed his token when you flashed yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Did you say you were a businessman just then? Man of business.
I feel like you're saying this as he's like getting you out of the door, and he'll say,
I am.
I don't really do business myself, no.
Oh,
Not
well,
much.
maybe you're interested in getting into it. See, what we've got here is a great brand opportunity, not a spy capes. You can have a cape delivered to your door monthly. If you don't like them, grill. Don't like
If
them.
you don't like it, you can send it back.
Absolutely, we pay all the shipping and handling. And all you have to do is pay a little bit of money up front. Now, if you want equity in the company, that's going to be more considerable. But just signing up for cape delivery, that's not too bad.
You know, if you promise this to people and fail to deliver, that's fraud, right?
What's fraud exactly?
You muted, Archlife.
Is this part of your disguise, perhaps?
The cape.
Regardless,
Yeah, as you can
I'm-
see, it's part of the disguise.
I'm not interested in your business at the moment, no.
I make it
Although
a
I-
mental note to look up fraud.
I do wish you well in the future. Be careful with that, though. I'm sure some may respond less positively. Anyway, he closes the door with this, exiting you guys from the room.
All right.
I've got a problem, Ayugan.
What's that?
I really don't like him or the
Yeah.
governor very much.
Yeah. We'll find one.
Maybe.
You
now that
are
we
still
know
in a
that the
guardhouse right now.
Well, we'll get outside or something.
Okay.
Maybe. Now that we know
Triple
that the
cross.
real governor is going to be alone without his guard tomorrow, and we know that he thinks that we're working for him, maybe we've opened ourselves a little opportunity here.
And maybe we do not only that, we attempt to assassinate him, but we tell his guards that we're going to attempt to assassinate him to leave him even more unguarded in the future a little bit further down the line.
Yeah. We can just keep repeating that until he's literally just sitting naked on the ground waiting to be stabbed.
Fabregas literally looks around to see if anyone's sitting on the ground naked right now.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember if we've already done this a couple times and maybe already
Right.
gotten to this point.
I say, you pitched the idea to me, and I kind of mull it over for a second to say, but we can't let the elves win.
What if we kill them too? They are treasonous.
Quadruple cross.
Sounds better. You got my interest. If you want to flesh the plan out, I'd take it into consideration.
What if tomorrow morning we just head to the governor's mansion and see what happens? Maybe he'll be there, maybe there won't be so many guards. We'll just play it by ear, you know? I look over at Arv and just look very confident that playing it by ear will go well.
I I give
Arv is
Dravergas
certainly
a
missing
very
an ear.
very pleased smile.
Iris, remember to run after you kill the governor.
Mm. Run.
Great.
He clearly doesn't understand.
So with that, you guys can return to your inn for the night. If you have anything you wish to do before the parade starts, you guys may. If not, I think we're ready for that.
I would. Yeah. I don't have anything. Anyone else have anything they want to do?
Sleep in the tree.
Sleep a tree. Okay.
Yeah, I'll just find one. There appear to be trees in the town based on the map, so I'll sleep in the tree.
Absolutely.
I
with
would
that,
like to seek an audience with the governor in the morning.
as he
I'll
has a
go alone
parade.
if I have to.
As he has a parade today, his attendants inform me that he is busy. Could perhaps seek an audience tomorrow after the parade is over. They could book you in 4 p.m. 7 days from
Yeah.
now.
I'm headed out of town is the problem, but I'm a businessman. This town needs business, I can tell, and some people have accused me of fraud. I need some big backer with authority who will really lend some credibility to this business venture that I've got going. You ever heard of Not a Spy Capes?
I'm sorry, I'm merely a receptionist. I don't
Oh.
handle business matters.
You wouldn't just be a receptionist anymore if you got in on the ground floor. 3 months from now, you'd be living in a mansion out west by the coast.
You know, this is one of the first customers you've talked to that actually could potentially be a customer. Roll me
Yeah,
a persuasion.
A receptionist, yeah.
A receptionist. They have a small amount of money they could invest. Incredibly tiny.
Can we make that a contested roll?
Yeah. I'll let them roll
the underlying messages of this.
insight against that.
Just not having any of your bullshit.
I'm sorry, sir. I have no interest in fraudulent business.
Mm.
You will be on your way.
Wow.
I walk away, storming, just very upset.
So with that, you guys are good for the parade that is now happening. You're set up at the spot. So right here at this corner is where Arvius will be attacking the cart and going and killing the governor inside. You've had it cleared up that the governor will be a double here.
And it's just a double they don't really care about.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just to be clear, it's gonna be a
real
double
killing.
that
Yeah.
They didn't really mention what or who was going to be in the cart.
Sure.
Simply that you're going to go in, kill whoever it is that isn't the governor in there.
Yep.
And then
And we're completely trusting some covert spy that
Yeah.
like,
It's not like he
they're
might.
actually doing this. Or...
Yeah. I mean, we would. I mean, we had the symbol, right? Like, we have a reason to suspect that the authority at least is like it's an empire-wide authority that.
It's fine. It's a perfect plan. I just want to establish that, I'm going along with the cleansing of the elves, but my character still has the moral high ground because he's not that happy about it.
Sure.
Alright, good.
Yeah.
Fair.
There's something about inaction and good met. Yeah. Anyways.
So the parade starts. This is a military parade, boasting of one of the more recent conquests of some elven territory. It goes for a while.
How are we gonna sell it up? I am very curious how you're gonna spin this, and I don't want to derail that too long for a second. But I'm just very excited to see how you're gonna sell us successfully assaulting in a military parade as a single man and leaving. and the military not catching him. So I'm very excited to see this.
That kind of should be
Absolutely.
up to the players, right?
Well,
But,
you do remember that there's a certain alleyway.
Yes.
that
No,
they're
I-
saying go down this alleyway
Sure.
and we will not pursue you.
Yeah.
Also, Arvius is probably a good choice because you are going to take some hits as you do this, likely.
Yeah.
So there's a large crowd of people crowding around. The governor is at the head of the parade with a large amount of military behind him. He's in a cart drawn by 2 horses, surrounded by a contingent of 20 personal guards. They're keeping the crowd at bay, kind of moving through the crowd. Arvius is positioned in the crowd at a point near where the guards are going to be leaving a defenseless point. And Arvius, as you see it getting towards you, you see someone from within the crowd. You guys can all probably see him toss a small canister into the contingent of guards. It explodes into a small amount of smoke. Arvius, what will you be doing at this point? The guards seem bewildered.
Okay, so there's like smoke cover, if you will.
Yeah.
A small amount, yes.
And I'm assuming I'm at the side on like the sidewalk area or whatever with like a bunch of people.
You're in the crowd, yes.
Okay. I will already have been in a rage, just like working myself up before actually going in.
getting all
So
pumped up.
Yeah.
How do you get
Oh.
into a rage, Arvius? How do
Yeah.
you picture that?
Yeah. How's your rage?
you just like start like slapping yourself on the face, like clawing at yourself, and just going a little crazy, and with the smoke cover, I think.
So would it be fair to assume then, if you were like a bystander watching, that the bystander would assume that you were being stung repeatedly by bees and you were trying to get them off?
They would be very concerned, yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry, he's always like this.
Yeah.
Just a tick.
I'll proceed to charge towards the governor, assuming there's an open gap, and I'll be howling the whole time while running towards them. I'm assuming the guards can't see where the howling's coming from.
I mean, it's clearly emanating from you, and the smoke isn't that heavy, enough that it was simply able to, serve as a signal, as well as some other stuff. But you do charge into the guards. They'll take a few, minor swings at you. It's very clear that they're not intending to cause you harm, but they do, slightly cut you up and stuff, put on a bit of a show. As you barrel through them to this carriage, roll me an athletics to see how impressively you're doing this.
Yeah.
Okay.
As this is happening, I'm talking to Grill a little bit, trying to cheer him up about his plan not being the one we went with. And I'm like, Grill, look, think of the long-term damage to the government this is going to cause. I mean, look, one man armed only in a loincloth and an axe assaulted a formation of 20 men, and a military parade of thousands more killed the governor and left. This is going to do irreparable damage to the image of the competency of this government.
In the background, over his shoulder, you just see Arv get run through with a
Yeah. Brain go flying out of the back of his head. As you see Grilt nodding along.
So,
Are these
the-
guards standing in between, or are they like this is like an opening?
they kind of made a path for you that you're barreling down, and as I said, they're kind of half swinging at you as you get through this. Although it's clear they're not intending to harm you that much. Some of the soldiers nearby are simply stopped, holding the crowd back as you rush and jump into this carriage. You kind of jump straight through the window.
He's inside a carriage.
So previously, the governor was kind of open and out. but he was taking a small break at this curve. He stepped into the back of his carriage.
Yep.
So when you rush in there, Arvius, you can see there is no governor in here. It is closed off, except for the hole that you've made. There is a small, well, not small. There is a tied-up elf in here, bound and gagged. And you do not see the governor inside.
Huh. Okay, so I'm gonna assume that Arv is intelligent enough to recognize that it's an elf and not the governor.
Why would you assume that?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd assume that.
Yeah, well, you can roll me an intelligence check if you
Yeah.
want.
Okay.
That's his good stat, right?
Yeah,
That's everyone's good stat if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
that's a flaw of the game design. It's not on not on the players in that one.
9 passes. 9 passes. You're fine.
I mean,
He's fine.
this probably isn't the governor, but a 9 is also high enough that you do remember that you were instructed to kill whoever was in this carriage.
Okay. And I'm still in a rage at this point, so I'll
You're
probably
still
give-
kind of raging, yeah.
We should train bees to sting him.
Yeah.
I'll give him like a little bit of a confused and wild look, and I cock my head to the side and just take my axe and slam it into his chest, and proceed to exit the carriage. Looking around.
Absolutely. So when you exit the carriage, you can see that there are a lot of guards that have now circled around you. You are raging, so I'm going to need you to roll me a wisdom save.
Yeah,
Wisdom save.
he's wise. Decent DC. Come on. I wanna know if lances do piercing damage or not.
Lances do piercing, yeah. So you realize that you should probably run at this point. They will certainly get some attacks on you. They have had to drop their facade of not attacking you, or of only attempting to attack you. Although part of you is tempted to stay and try to fight these guys off. But you are able to overcome that if you do wish to flee.
If any of them, I'll be looking around really menacingly when I exit the carriage. And seeing the guards, I'll probably, lick my axe a little bit. I'm assuming there's blood on it, and
Mostly
if
fecal
any of the
matter.
guards get too close, I'll pretend to lunge towards them and be howling at them too, while making my way out. Not running yet, but quickly walking.
So they do kind of have you encircled. So you need to find a way to go
okay.
through them of some sort.
Do you have any instrument that makes holes,
I think I can just charge through them.
like a shovel?
It's
I'm
an
thinking.
axe. Axes can make holes.
Oh yeah.
Well, all right, so I'll just Arv is just gonna charge at straight ahead, and any soldier that doesn't get out of the way, he's actually gonna attack.
Okay. That's completely understandable. Roll me an intimidate as you're doing this. That's a pretty high roll. So the guard that you chose to run directly towards, the kind of I'd say two, in the encirclements, both stand their ground fully, and prepare to attack you as you get towards them. Neither one flees from your intimidate.
Which was a nice intimidate roll, but when they nat 20 over there.
When they both nat 20.
Yeah.
So with that, roll me a quick initiative, just
Like
to
a
see
death
if you're
save.
getting the first attack, because you can chop down. You're not getting the first attack. I am pretty confident of that.
Yep.
Only barely. but you are not getting the first attack. So you kind of rush just towards these guards, and you see them simply stand their ground. They're here to put on a show. They're hoping you don't kill them, but they will both be attacking you as you run, attempting to get through them and later attacking them. One of them miss, the other will hit you. And you will take 6 damage.
6 damage. Okay. The idea is to kind of push him out of the way too, while also swinging the axe around.
What the guards have done here, though, is they've drilled a pilot hole. Now they're going to put the larger caliber lances through that pilot hole.
There are more guards coming. If you don't make your way out this turn, you will be attacked by quite a few more than 2 guards.
Okay, so can I like disengage and move around them, or?
You have to go through them. So either you can attempt to simply push through them, and they're going to get more opportunity attacks on you, possibly some from other guards as well, or you can try to cut them down and then run. Or do something else if you wish, if you want to try to get creative.
What level are these guards?
As Arvius the Barbarian, mid-combat.
They're guards. Guards serve as soldiers for this realm, so they're also soldiers.
Okay.
These are his personal guard, so they're better trained than the average guard, you would say.
They're
Can
wearing
I
a 210 mail.
Bull rush through them.
Say again.
Can I bull rush through them?
Trying to run past them, they're going to get opportunity attacks.
All right, I'm just gonna run past. We're gonna go
Run past
we're
them?
gonna go crazy.
Okay. So you're not cutting them down though, because that'd be like a wisdom save here. They just attacked you. They drew blood. So
Oh
if you wanna...
well. Okay, I was supposed to attack at least once. At
Okay.
least once. I'm gonna attack once, and then if they don't like die or back off, then I'll run past.
Okay. You great weapon attacking or just normal? And also, are you reckless attacking?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be reckless. So let's see.
Definitely going to be reckless, and then great weapon as well. You don't have a plus. Okay. That is enough to hit the guard. And you do cut this guard down. You simply sink your axe into his waist and wrench it out.
He was underleveled, new to the guard.
Yeah.
He is bleeding out. He is not technically dead, but he is on the ground bleeding out.
All right, I'm assuming that leaves like an opening in the shield wall, and I'm gonna punch through it.
Absolutely. You will still get attacked by 2 more guards, but less than if you had just simply run past.
Okay. I'm just thinking about how this works. I'm assuming that attack is like an extra action, and I still have full ability to move / dash through.
This isn't just straight combat. This is more freeform. That being said, you are going to take...
These are the first 2. How many people in the parade?
14. There are a lot more coming. These are of his personal guard.
Sure.
The soldiers are streaming in, although the crowd is making it difficult for them to reach you.
Yeah, what I wanted to know really was with that intelligence roll, Arvius, is he running back through the smallest opening of guards, or is he running down the length of the parade?
Just by all of the soldiers.
Just straight through all of them, down like the whole length of the parade. I just imagine they're all lined up in the street, and he's just like straight through the middle of them.
Well, he knows what alleyway
It's
he has to
interspersed
get
with,
to.
like school groups of school children, like you know, nuns, things like that.
Yeah.
So
He knows what alleyway he has to get to. So he'll be taking the.
Okay.
Well, it's up to him. Actually, I won't speak for Arvius here. You know what alleyway you have to get to for safety. You recognize that this many people could kill you. You are almost bloodied.
Yeah, I'll be having to run straight out, go to the nearest alley, and finding one that connects to the alley that I'm assuming I have no idea the alley is, so I'm just gonna eventually find it.
Yeah. That seems
Okay.
likely.
So you just duck into an alleyway after assassinating the governor. There are going to be quite a few guards chasing after you. They know what you look like, um, and they will be searching the city as you attempt to flee from
Put on a cape.
them. So
As
you're trying.
as he gets into the alley, I would like to, looking like a very old and bewildered civilian, riding a horse, a large horse, just accidentally block the passage into the alley.
With the horse.
Yeah, I'm just sort of looking around. I check my wrist. I don't know if there are watches, but I just look like maybe there's something on it. I scratch it a bit.
How much of this alley is blocked? Like sneak past or?
Oh, you're already in. I'm just
Oh, he's not getting in your way.
just
He's getting
trying
in
to
their
stop
way.
other
obviously.
people
Oh,
from
okay,
getting
okay,
in.
okay.
The guards will yell out of the way now with their weapons drawn.
I look sort of stunned. Excuse me, I'm a cleric of the Lord. I make my way on my own time.
You can roll me a charisma save here, or else they're killing your horse. They violently push you out of the way,
They're trying to kill me.
push you and your horse into the wall as they stream past you. One of them will kind of yank the reins of your horse and drag you away on it.
You'll be hearing from the Lord about this. He watches you while you're sleeping.
You have successfully delayed them slightly from Arvius. So you're trying to.
You hit your mute.
Oh, muted.
Yeah, all good. You're trying to run from your life here. So you can roll me an athletics check as you try to outrun the guards to get to this alleyway that you vaguely know the location of. A pretty good roll. You're definitely gaining ground on them. Although they aren't falling all too much behind. You kind of duck and weave into various alleyways. At one point, you duck into one, and before you stand some guards, around 4 of them, who do notice you. You're having to go either around them or through them.
There's guards on like the other side.
There
of
are
the...
guards chasing behind you. These ones are in front of you, blocking your path. 4 of them, they don't look nearly as important as the personal guards that were at the governor's carriage.
And they definitely see me.
And they definitely see you and have yelled, "Stop right there."
Are there any buildings that I can go into nearby?
There's a wooden door next to you. It is shut.
Carved on the front of it is the insignia of a bee.
I think I'll be looking around as I'm running, and I'll just keep charging towards them.
Okay, charging
And
towards them.
screaming at them while getting louder as I get closer.
Okay, absolutely. You charge towards them, screaming violently and waving your axe. You can roll me another intimidate.
At some point, we must be not too far from here because he's only run a little bit distance. I hear that yell, and I'm like, we never really did explain to Arvius about losing himself afterwards, did we?
You're unsure how much of it he picked up.
Well, he's got one shot, one opportunity.
So are they... there's like no other direction, right? There's no other path.
Not without having to double back and lose all of the progress you've made away from your pursuing guards.
Okay, and I'm assuming this is like further down the alley, or does it lead to another alley?
There's another alley at the end of this. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna
You're
attempt to like jump past them.
jump past them, like jump
Yeah,
over them.
if they put up their shields, I'll pretend to attack, and if they put up their shields, I'm gonna jump onto their shields and jump over.
Um. Okay. Um. Let's see. You kind of were you were charging for them, yelling and simply swinging your axe in front of you. Um. And as you get to them, they don't attack you. They simply brace with their shields. I suppose if you want to attempt to jump over them, you can do so
Jump-
with a very
jump 'em over.
very high DC athletics. That's
Easy.
a pretty high athletics check. Um,
8 mod.
8 mod.
Why does that
He high strength. You successfully jump and land slightly in them. You can roll me a dex save or fall prone.
A deck save or
But you
what?
have dex save or fall prone. You have gotten over them, but you might fall after this. You are gonna fall down after this. Yes.
And they take that moment while he's fallen to get in front of him again and put the shield walls up, right?
Well, you're on the ground. They are going to all surround you, and all just take a swing at you while you're down. Instead of rolling separate attack rolls, you are prone, having just fallen. You're a bit stunned with that net 1 deck save. So they will deal in total an extra 13 damage to you.
As the howls that we're hearing sort of change pitch, I sort of just look over to Geralt and say, "So where were the three of us going to meet the elves?"
I vaguely remember the location. I might be one street off.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah. Do we even wait or we just go now? You think time efficiency?
Well, I think we've waited long enough, haven't we?
Yeah, we get the primary mission. We get paid on time. We don't want to just spend it standing around here for no reason.
Should we rescue the fella?
Do we rescue the guards? Maybe.
Hmm.
Think he's got it?
I'm gonna ride into the alley.
Okay.
I'll follow.
Anyone following Fabregas?
Yep.
I'll follow Fabregas.
I am too.
Party loyalty.
Okay. You guys kind of going. There are a lot of soldiers and guards around. You do know where he did go though. So you'll turn a corner, and you'll see some guards stabbing someone on the ground. That you do recognize as Arvius. That being
Oh,
said,
never mind.
Arvius,
He's got them right where he wants them. I'm gonna
having
turn
been
around.
stabbed, it is now your turn though, Arvius. There are 4 guards just looming over you. On
Oh,
the
there's only
ground,
4.
stabbing.
Oh,
you.
he's completely.
Okay. I'm assuming that it doesn't make sense to run because they're like surrounding me.
You could potentially run if you wished.
I'm just gonna cut up. Can I cleave all of them like with one attack, or like attack one that's like single?
Oh well,
attack?
basically, it's how much you overkill you can do to the next one if you would still hit.
Okay.
Uh,
I'm going to reckless attack 3 times then.
Okay. That's so the crit. If you click that one.
What is this plus 0? Oh, it's not a die. Okay.
That's just from the crit.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's a good bit. That other one hits as well. Um, so you cleave through. Kind of, you're on the ground, and you draw out your axe, and you cut off the legs of 2 of them, and they fall to the ground.
It's really comedic looking from a
Yeah.
distance because it just looks like the
Four
guard's like
legs.
whoop, and like his chest
Um,
just like drops.
And your axe continues into the leg of the third one, kind of lodging it in his calf.
Are the other 2 guards, are they, they still confident here? They wanted to run, or they just saw 2 of their friends die? Well, kind of die.
Hobbled.
One of them will be fleeing at that. One of them attempts to flee, but your axe is keeping him in place
Ugh.
because it is lodged in his leg. Seeing that he can't flee, he'll do what he probably thinks is best, and
And his own life
try
to avoid the pain.
take his short sword.
Takes
And
his
what he's going to
cyanide
attempt to do is slash the hilt of your axe, attempting to break it off. He will fail to do so, however. You are able to, at that point, kind of throw him on the ground and finish him off if you wish.
Absolutely.
You take your axe, you kind of kick out his other leg, you stand above him, ripping it out, and just straight down into his head.
I hope the other guard's not behind me while I'm doing this.
Could you, as a percentage, tell me how many of the military parade he has killed now?
0.02, maybe? I don't know.
And
0.01?
It's higher than I was expecting. Okay.
probably worth mentioning that as Arvius brings his axe down on this maimed man, crushing his skull, splintering bone fragments and brain, and widowing a wife and orphaning children.
He
that
also was
does
the
gain a
primary.
level.
He was the
He does
primary
gain a level off
caregiver
of that kill.
of
Yeah,
a whole orphanage. Actually, he was a single founding patron of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but good experience. Yeah, I think he has a little bit more experience than us now.
Yeah, for sure. Also, Humane Society, like animal shelter, is now unfunded
Yeah,
as well.
absolutely.
Doggies everywhere.
And in
He
his-
also worked at the nursing home.
in his free time, he was a composer, actually very talented. Like, you robbed the gift of music to most of the city now as well.
That's true.
Ironic
This
that
is
he
why-
was a shit guard then, eh?
Well, it makes kind of sense. You know, it's so good at so many other things in life.
Jack
No
of all
time.
trades.
Maybe he
Master
should have been focused on what was important instead.
Well,
So Arv, you are now covered in blood. If you weren't already before.
it's like a whole new disguise.
Exactly.
You
What
can
is
hear
Arv usually wearing?
blood, mostly. Very small amount of clothes.
If you
Do
look at him
you
from the
have-
front,
like,
the
does
great,
your character
the
have
great
like
axe.
leather armor or anything?
No, he
No,
doesn't.
his character
armor.
wears no armor.
Okay,
So
so
it is
got
it is clothes to cover certain regions of his body and nothing more.
Okay, just wanted to make sure I understood it completely clearly.
I do
Gotcha.
think he
Yeah,
said he
yeah.
fought naked. So my understanding is actually what covers his body is only the great axe and only from certain angles.
Yeah.
Well, he has the
Yeah.
great axe strap.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're picturing this cinematically, it's like the scene from Austin Powers 1 or 2, where there's just objects covering up
Yep.
the anatomy
Yeah,
from
your
whatever
view.
kind of angle you're looking at
Yep.
Arv's character from.
Yep.
A genuine
Clearly not
phenomenon.
trying to cover him up, though. It might be accidental, if
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, exactly. Like from one given angle shot, just the foot, just kind of like this pair of feet just on the ground from
Yep.
the camera shot, actually blocking the shot of.
A bird flies in front,
Yeah.
just at the right moment. So that being said, you do now see Arv. You guys do know slightly better where the alleyway is, probably. And you can see some guards behind you guys point and start running towards you.
Is he down here? I don't. Oh, I can't see him. I think he might have gone the other way.
The
I was convinced.
Uh, the guards will run towards you. They're trying to get to Arv, but if you stand in their way, they will attack you if necessary to get past you. They don't know exactly where Arv is, but the sounds of combat have been heard from here.
Well, of course
Especially
you're
the
hearing
scream
sounds
of
of
this man as he
combat. It's
died.
the children's charity hockey game in there. You're not going to run in with swords drawn. It's a holiday.
So Arv, what are you doing after having cleaved this man's skull? Continuing on your way.
I'll be running around looking for the nearest building, preferably in some alley to hide in.
Okay. So you're not going to the pre-described one. You're trying to,
I don't
trying
know
to
how far I am from this alley.
You're probably 600 feet, I would say.
Yeah, you've been running the opposite direction the entire time.
Huh. Well, I'll enter a building as long as there's nobody seeing, no guards watching that can see me.
Okay, so are you just like busting down the nearest door and just going inside?
If none of them appear to be open, yes. I'm assuming some people don't lock their doors. Someone might be out at work during the day.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead and roll me a
Yes.
D100
How do I do that again?
/R space 1D100. Okay. You're not finding any unlocked doors immediately. You could continue searching, but the guards would get closer.
All right, I'm just going
You
to
have
smash into the door. It's like,
just the nearest wooden door you just smash down.
yeah, I'm going to move back and then charge it.
All right. Roll me a strength check.
That's
Not a
right
save,
on.
but it. I'm just taking the. So you wouldn't have advantage here.
It'll be a
Right, right,
13.
right.
As
It'd
a
be a
strength
13.
roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is the calculation difference between a saving throw and a regular check?
Proficiency.
It adds your proficiency bonus if you
Okay,
have
cool.
the proficiency in that, which barbarians have proficiency in strength.
How does he have 20
Okay,
strength?
cool.
Stat up for level 4. He took +2 and he started with 18 because he got a high roll and a +2 from his race.
Oh, he rolled for his stats?
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Which is how he has 7 in.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So you smash down. Well, 13. You try to barge through this door, but it does hold. You make a loud noise though, and you can hear the shouts of guards. Cutting back to you guys, the guards. Are you blocking the guards from entering this alleyway, or just standing to the side?
I'm absolutely blocking the guards from entering the alleyway.
Okay. What about you two? Are you also okay?
I'm
And Aegon?
blocking, but I'm not making it obvious that I'm blocking. I'm kind of stretching and doing.
Yeah, you're like leaning against the wall.
Oh, we're
Yeah,
not mounted anymore?
I'm mounted.
Jorbs is mounted. Don't
Did all of
believe
us start
either.
mounted? Because if we all started mounted, then I'll stay mounted.
Yeah, I assume we were mounted. And I assume what we're doing in that is we're kind of, the horses are kind of circled a little bit, and we're kind of like chatting with each other, like just in the entry of this alleyway. And it's kind of real awkward to move around us. You probably could get through us, though.
Okay. When the first guard of this bunch gets to you, he'll say, "Out of the way, civilians. We have important matters."
I'll kind of like move the reins of my horse, like I'm trying to get it to move, but it's just good. But like, and I'm kind of giving it conflicting commands with my feet at the same time, so it's kind of like twirling a little bit, not like moving very well. Like, just trying to get this stupid animal to move.
Dismount then.
and I start to do that, but it's like I'm acting like that. I'm not very good at horsemanship at all. So like dismounting's taking me a while. I can't get my leg over it, and then like the heavy armor, it's really awkward. So I finally do dismount, but it takes me like 10 times as long as it would normally to dismount.
Yeah. I'm just talking loudly.
What are you talking
I'd like
about?
to address one of them.
Okay.
Grunt,
Uh,
if you wanted to elaborate.
I'll
on
just
what you're talking about
I'll just
this one.
be like, and I thought her name was Guinevere, and I'll laugh real loud. And then that reminds me of another time back when I was in prison. And then keep chatting it up.
So, Fabregas, you said you wanted to address one of the guards directly?
Yep. Tell me, son, isn't there somebody else you should be? There are powers at play here that you do not understand.
Excuse me? What do you know of what's happening? Tell me now. He draws his weapon.
Think carefully about whether you are the person who should be questioning me, soldier.
And I say, whoa, let's take a second now. When he says powers that be, he's talking about God. Now, we're all friends of God here, right? He can do all sorts of cool stuff for us if you didn't know about that.
God sits over my shoulder and watches my back at all times.
So, yeah, we're all friends of God here. Let's just take it easy.
Out
You
of
wanna
the
hear
way.
a story about Guinevere?
Out of the
This is
way.
back before
now,
I was in prison.
civilians. With this, he will kind of push past your horses.
Ooh,
They are awkwardly.
can I roll an
trying to.
animal handling check to see if my horse will kick him?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I'm also gonna yell really loudly, whoa, you smudged my horse!
I'd say
Uh,
I'd say a 9's a no there. I think it would have to be very high for me to manage to
Your horse-
covertly convey the idea to kick him.
Your horse does shit on the ground, but he does not kick.
Okay.
I make a big scene because my horse is, of course, painted. And by pushing past the horse, he has smudged one of the lines pretty terribly.
He smudged the paint job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So isn't it just mud?
What's that?
He smudged the mud. He got some mud.
Yeah,
on
he
it.
smudged the paint job. I made some nice lines on my horse, which I've
With mud, it's very
specifically done
hard,
that
so
I've
this
done,
takes a lot
yeah.
of work. So this is getting
And
very
so
clearly
he just
disrupted.
went and smudged it. So now my horse looks like shit. So I'm gonna make a big scene about it.
He knocked off all the pine needles too.
Yeah, that too.
Does he-
Arv
Guards-
put some pine needles in there too.
If the guards are pushing through, I'm going to follow on horseback.
Follow
Like,
the
very
guards on
obviously.
horseback.
Yeah.
I am going to be indignant, and that's going to be authentic, but it will be played up in order to try to get their attention. And
Oh yeah. I'm
You know,
talking all about my civil rights. Like I live in this neighborhood. They kept coming in with swords drawn. Like while kids
So you
are
guys have
home.
bought Arvius for sure another turn or two. If you want to try bashing down the door again with this new turn, you can.
Bashing the door down again.
Okay. So no advantage, and make sure it's a strength
Just a second
check.
before you roll that. This is probably a very good time. We need to cut the part here. It's been going a little bit over length. So let's stop
Absolutely.
here and we'll start getting the next part. See you guys in just a second.
Sounds great.